How can I help my student to eat their own food rather than their peers' food?
Sure, in this instance it's really important to be an observer and see why you think this child is migrating towards their peers' food. It's also very important that we communicate these observations with families, as often there's a very important cues into what this child is seeking throughout their day. In this instance, if a child is migrating towards their peers' food, it's very important that we look at the types of food that this child is migrating towards. Are they looking for very crunchy foods like chips? Are they looking for very salty foods like Vegemite? Or is it even the colour orange that seems to interest them and they're looking for those crunchy orange carrots? It's very important that we share this with families because often children with autism can have quite a limited food repertoire. So if a child is migrating towards another peer's food, it's important that the parent knows that so they can try to increase their child's repertoire at home, and then the next time they can pack many more of these foods in their own lunchbox. Hopefully this will deter them from seeking food from their others. It's also important to consider if this child understands that the food presented in front of them is their own, as opposed to discriminating between their peers' food. We can do this in numerous ways. We can help that child understand that this is their food by obviously verbally letting them know, that's Billy's food, this is your food, you need to eat your food. Or even helping them to discriminate between their food and their peers by having a mat placed underneath their snack. This way they can see that everything on this mat belongs to them and this is what they can eat. I'd even encourage a little bit more proximity between the peer and their friend, but only for a short amount of time. We want lots of successful opportunities for that child to eat their own snack without eating their peers. And of course you wouldn't want to keep them separated for a long amount of time because that would obviously affect the amount of socialization that can occur through meal times. So short periods of them further proximity, and then you can bring them closer together. Throughout this it's important that we're watching the child, as I said earlier, but also acknowledging if that child is moving towards a crunchy snack, you're saying, oh, I think you like crunchy foods, and then communicating that with the parents so that they can pack crunchy foods for the next time. Of course, we can always support children in these instances with things like social stories that coach children through understanding this is their snack and that's their peers, and that we need to eat our own. We also know when it comes to things like allergies, we need to be really vigilant and keep an eye on children who tend to eat from others. So a few things to consider.